Hello, everyone. It's Mark Berger coming to you again from the 13th floor with another episode of Things to Do Inside when there's still a pandemic outside. And the project for this month is the Chinese sewing box kit, something that we have done some time ago in 2017. It was rather popular then, and I think you'll enjoy doing it again now. But before we get into that, I have a rather important announcement. Many of you, or all EDOS members, should have received in the mail this long blue envelope. And inside, it has something for you. Okay, now this one's addressed to me. Many of you, I think, are taking this nice card in this nice little gift pouch, and instead of opening the gift pouch, I've heard that you're inserting this into a handkerchief sachet and putting it in a drawer. Now, I appreciate the sentiment, but please, this is something for you. Take it off, open it up. I'm not going to disclose what's in it, but there's something, and it's for you to open. So if you haven't opened your little envelope in the little gift pouch, please do. Now, on to the Chinese sewing box kit. It comes to us from a province in China where they call it, and I'm putting Marita here on the spot, who's our resident Oriental linguist, to tell us how you say the name of this item in Chinese.
I'm going to be saying it wrong, but I'll try as best as I can. Jian jian bao.
There you go, Chinese sewing box kit, or
Jian jian bao.
okay, so if you don't like Marita's pronunciation, don't leave it in the comments below. Thanks. Okay, so here's the Chinese sewing box kit. It's held together by ties, and we open it up, and you see there are 4 little boxes, and I refer to that as the top layer. And the little boxes on the top, they open and close like this. Okay, and then the next layer, which I call the intermediate layer, has boxes that are twice the size of the top boxes. And then finally, the cover opens up and there's one big box. So we got 3 different types of boxes, and we're going to start out right now by making the cover. And here we go. Now you will have received in the mail a sheet of solid black paper, both sides. Now I was practicing here, and I thought if I use double-sided black paper, you're just not going to see what I'm doing. So I made another copy that has color on one side, namely green, and white on the back side. So you'll be able to follow along better. So here we go. Now, the first thing we need to understand is that this is not a square sheet of paper. It's a rectangle, and it measures 12 inches by 12 and a half inches. Why is it that way? Well, I wanted you to be able to fold it in half. And if we did not have this spine, we wouldn't be able to do that. So you will have received your sheet of paper in the little envelope, and it will have been folded into quarters, which is something we would have wanted to do anyway. Now, let's look at this strip here, okay, between the two holes punched. Anything? All right. Now, we're not going to make any folds through this space here at all. Marita and I watched a movie last night with World War I, and you can consider this no man's land. Okay. Was that funny?
Not really.
Not really. No, what can I say? Okay, so we're going to make the two folds here, one on each side. And what you want to do is find the hole that's punched and pinch it. Yes, both of them. Okay, and then do a neat fold connecting the whole thing together. So that's one fold. And now we're going to do right through those 2 points. Okay, so now we've divided this side from this side, but you'll notice that this is a 1 by 2 rectangle. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4 perfect squares. Okay, so now we're going to do the cabinet folds. And here's the only time you can touch this area. Okay, so we're going to fold along this midpoint. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. So it's okay for these to cross. But then when we do the next cabinet folds, we are going to make sure that we only go to that one side of the no man's land. And you'll notice that all these squares are indeed still square. Okay, so now we're going to do the diagonal, but remember, we don't want to go through this area. What we want to do is go from here to here in a straight crease, going through this point, and we're going to do that 4 times. And you see, if we were to do this in one fell swoop, we would be off, because you see how this, in this, they're not in line. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make a nice sharp point here. I'm going to line the edge up, and then I'm going to find this intersection. Okay, and then we're going to make the crease. So you see it stops when it comes to no man's land. So here we go, make another point, line up the edge, and so that's 1/2. Okay. Oh, one more. All right. So we've done everything we need to do on the top, on the back side or top. And now we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the blintz folds. Again, we're going to stay away from that spine in the center. And by doing that, you'll notice how all the creases come to intersect perfectly on each quarter. All right. If you happen to have any extra paper around, you might want to practice this. I just cut off, if you have a square, cut off 1/2 inch or so from one edge, and that gives you a sheet that's slightly rectangular with that spine in the middle. Okay, so now we pop these 4 points just like we're making a windmill base. Thank you, Marita. And then we bring the sides in. Okay. And now that we have, well, except for the spine, we have a model very much ready to do a Froebel exercise out of. But here we're going to take this and make it into the double canoe configuration. So we take these flaps, squash them down, so it looks like this. So here's one canoe, here's the spine, and then the second canoe. That's how that works. And now I'll show you how we run the laces through. So you want to unfold it again. And then the lace is going to go from the inside through a hole on one side of the spine. And then it's going to go through the adjacent hole on the opposite side of the spine. Then we take the end of the lace and go through on a side. And we then go through on the other side. Make sure you don't have any twists in there. So I'll finish the rest so you can see how it's supposed to look when it's done. And you'll want to have come to this point before you go on to the other layers. So we refold everything into the double canoe. Okay? And that's our cover. And I'll continue with the intermediate layer in the next part of this video. Thanks for watching.